shuts off the volume when he plays his games. And what now it's like not giving me the option to turn it back on.
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a challenge.
Every day is a challenge. Every day is a gift. And that's
so good morning, Marilyn. How the heck are you today? How's things over there in Michigan?
Really doing one chilly, probably like you are. Are you chilly?
Yeah, we've got another storm front coming in, and it's been raining. It's kind of awesome, really. We've been getting tons and tons of snow in the mountains, but down here in the valley, hardly any.
Oh, well, we have it. We have a good foot. We have a good foot out there.
Oh, nice. I thought this year was going to be a really heavy winter because our chickens started molting way early. They started molting back in October. And so we thought that meant that we were going to get pounded this winter. And I had an opportunity to buy a snowblower for like really cheap. I got like an $800 snowblower for $200 out of pocket and a little carpet repair.
Wow.
And so I couldn't resist it. And it's a really super nice snowblower. And I've only had a chance to use it once.
That's okay. There's going to be more.
I want it to snow so I could get out there with my snowblower and go snowblow the neighborhood.
We haven't been up to the property, since the holiday. I know that it's probably more than that up there. Up there is, it was underwater when we were there last because of all the rain prior, but it had snowed so much, so I'm sure we got a good foot or more up there. So we're going to try to head up there this weekend.
Yeah, well, we can always use water. I don't know. Yeah. Some places probably prefer not to have any water, but I know here in the desert where I live, we live in what's called the high desert. And we need water, something fierce. And so, I'm always happy to see it snow. And even though I haven't been able to go skiing for a long time, I actually did go skiing last week with my friends that were in town, and it was painful, but it was fun. It was, my knee is really messed up, and it was a pretty experience, but I did have fun with it, and I got some sore muscles out of it. That felt good. Always feels good to get sore muscles from exercise. And it was a great time, and we're grateful and thankful for the snow and for whatever weather we get. I'll tell you what I'm most grateful for is that I used to be able to tell the difference in such a huge way when the weather was going to change. If there was a storm front coming in, I didn't need to look at the weather to find out. I could feel it. I knew there was a storm front coming in because my left knee would just start throbbing so bad that oftentimes I'd have to turn to pain pills or something like that, and I don't need that anymore. I don't even notice the difference between
11.5.
Between 11.5 and 9.5, and just drinking lots of Kong's water. It's made a huge difference in the inflammation of my knee, and it's made a huge difference for me. I think of all the benefits I've had, that's the biggest one. That's the one I'm most grateful for because it was really hard having a barometer in my knee. It was very painful.
Mine's my shoulder. Mine's my shoulder. I used to take care of patients, and I was lifting a patient during a storm. Our power went out at the facility, and a girl was, you got to have a 2-person lift when you have somebody that's unable to walk and do things for themselves. And she was over 300 pounds, the client, and the girl that was lifting with me lifted on 1. We're supposed to lift on the count of 3. The lady landed on my shoulder when we lifted her out of that electric chair that she was stuck in. And I'm like, and they tried to say I didn't do it there. And I'm like, I wasn't like this until that happened, So your body will have the repercussions because of, what you did to it. You put it in some traction, and it's still today. I had surgery on it. They went in there and thought I had a torn rotator cuff, and come to find out I had cartilage build up because I let it go too long before I did something about it. Because I just babied it. It'll go away. It'll go away. It didn't go away, but you know what? They had a chair here within the hour I was to drive back, 2 hours actually, to drive back. They already had a chair here, and I had to start exercising it right away, or it would have locked up. It would have been, stuck like. So I'm blessed that I was able to do that, but I still feel it today. I still have it going on today. But you know what? Get up in the morning. If I feel it, I'm so blessed I have my machine. Go out there and get that 11.5. And this morning I had to do that at 5:30. I woke up all stuffy. I woke up with this arm fell asleep. I had to massage it, and I had to wake it up, and I'm like, come on, come back. So I go in the kitchen. I did a nose flush, did eye drops 2.5 and 11.5 and nose, ears, and eyes, and gargled with my mouth. Drank down some 11.5, drank 9.5 after that, warm, and I'm moving around. So,
Beautiful.
So God is so great that he gave us these glaciers, through Mr. O'Shero. I'll always be grateful to him too for, opening our eyes to something better for our health. So that's what I'm here for today, is to give my story, so I can help others learn that they can too find the truth in any kind of sickness and disease that's going on in their body. And today I would love to really touch base on the flu, because it's really important. Why? Not just Band-Aid it.
Well, that's what the Kong family is here for. We're here to share stories, because that's what changed my life. And I believe that, you never know whose story is going to resonate with who. You never know who's going to hear your story, and that's going to change their life, or who's going to hear Tara's story, or Ricky's story, or anybody else's story. And
Tara and I do resonate. I resonate with her a lot, Tara. When I was listening to her.
Yeah, I'd love to have you, share your story. And I know that you had reached out to me about some subject. I can't remember, quite frankly, I can't remember what the subject was. It had something to do with
the flu,
health, or the flu. Yeah. So I'd love to hear what your story is that you'd like to let everybody know about. And then if you want to expand on the whole flu thing that you were talking about, that you seem to, it's a big subject. There's a lot of people out there that are just running right on down to the pharmacy and letting them go ahead and stick that flu shot.
Oh my God!
How about a little Russian roulette this morning? Yay! How about we do that? It's just it's insanity in the first degree is what it is.
It's really important.
What is your story, Marilyn? What got you on the Kong train, and what's happened to you since you jumped on?
Well, when we are born pure. We don't know what's in our DNA. It's not really brought up to us when we were born, or growing up. And they say we absorb everything. We're told everything, what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Since the age we were learning to walk and talk until the age of 6, we absorb those ways. So when it comes to our health and everything, we're learning as we're going as an adult. So once I started researching after being in the hospital, put in the hospital back in 2014 for mental issues, they thought it was all in my head when I kept going to the doctors and, telling them how my body was feeling. It was hurting. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't digesting my food, and I was having a hard time getting nutrients. So at first, my thyroid was the total key to all of that. Before they even looked into the thyroid, they just thought, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And then I went to my one medical doctor, and he sent me down to Ann Arbor here in Michigan to have it further looked into, and it come to be hyperthyroidism, which can be altered by what is in our food, what is in our water, alters our thyroid. And our thyroid cannot function properly if we don't have the right nutrients to make it work, because that's one of our regulators. and for our blood pressure, anything, you know, and they right away thought, well, she's going to have a heart attack. So they did set me up for RIA, which is radioactive iodine treatment, which stops the functioning of the thyroid. And therefore, that threw me into hypothyroid. So I wasn't able to stimulate anything to do with digestion at all. It slowed everything down. And when you don't have that stomach acid in there, when you're consuming your foods, it just sits there. It doesn't have any way of moving. It hurts to let it sit there in your gut. I was in so much pain. I could not move. Fibromyalgia is one thing they said I had. I had arthritis, dermatitis. I mean, everything was just popping out. Well, you know what? If it isn't moving along, your gut bacteria is going to flourish. So therefore, when that flourishes, it activates an infection, you know, and bacterial infections happen a lot when we are not moving properly our food out of the gut so it can go and do what it's supposed to do throughout the body. So I'm learning as I'm healing right now. It's been a roller coaster since 2006. And when all this started was back in 2005 when I fainted getting ready for work. And I wasn't sure what, I was on the floor. I thought I was leaving for work. And that's when they thought it was just high blood pressure at the time. So fast forward to 2014, I was just going with what the doctors told me. Take your meds, do this, let's try this, let's try that, you know? And I ended up not knowing who I was. I ended up not knowing who my husband was of almost 40 years. My children, I would walk around my house wondering, who am I? I was lost. So when that's going on and your body is not getting the right nutrients, especially vitamin B's to your brain, you need those. Those are vital. I didn't know that they were just doing this just because this is what they were taught in school. So this is what they're going to go and, you know, give their patients. So I did some research while I was in that hospital, and I looked into the natural way of healing. And it led me to doctors that know more about the body, not just medicine. And the naturopath I contacted down in Detroit here in Michigan, he did further extent blood work, stool sample, hair analysis, saliva test to find out my hormones were gone. There's zero. I was ready for a coma. And it's really sad to see that you have to get that sick before a doctor will listen to you. All they say is nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. I don't see nothing on the CAT scan. I don't see nothing in your MRI. And, you know, because I used to get migraines, bad migraines. And when it comes to your body just knows what's right and what's not. And every time they gave medications to me, I got worse. So when I started seeing this doctor in Detroit, he tried all the remedies. He's also a natural chiropractor and nutritionist. And he tried some supplements on me, but still my nervous system was still not accepting things. I was down to eating only chicken and carrots. I didn't even have the strength to cut carrots, but I knew I was in that survival mode. I needed to live. There was a reason for me to be here still on earth. So once I got a hold of another naturopath on Facebook, I have a holistic chiropractor. She is wonderful. She's my earth angel. God sent me her. And then we were camping that summer of 2016. We were camping, and a girl next to us, seeing how thin I was down to 98 pounds. I was starving down to skin and bones. I was 212 pounds prior to that. And then she told me about this doctor in Carroll, Michigan, in the Thumb. And I went to him, and sure enough, he knew right away what was wrong with me. Said I had a a gene that is hereditary from my dad's mother, which is a liver disease. And that's what my sister died from in 2013. And I seen her wilt down to nothing, like I was on that same path, wilting down to nothing. And when I got a whole, he, started doing more tests on me. He knows how to muscle test, kinesiology, and, started me on supplements. That stuff was starting to work, but then it wasn't until my son set me up with a naturopath that come into his shop down in Detroit, and she has this nutritional supplement. It's called Relive. Relive is all natural to the body. So when it's natural, something's natural to your body's going to accept it better. And when it's synthetic, that's when your nervous system sets off and says, hey, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know how to utilize you. So it's going to cause us to have anxiety, any kind of things that's going on in the body that's telling us that we don't feel good. So when I started on that Relive, she put me on 2 supplements, and one of them is called Energizer. Well, that Energizer is better than Gatorade. And then there's another one that's a supplement that is called the Classic. That has all your nutrients in it that your body needs to function, get your nutrition from it. And it's also in the book, Killing Cancer, Not People. Bob Wright talks about it. And when I, started feeling better, here it was September when I seen Dr. Shelson, and he's my naturopath now. And I started this in October of 2016. And by the end of, I would say November, I started getting my wits back. I started thinking better. I started sleeping. I'm like, what? This is pretty cool. And I went to see Dr. Shelson, and I didn't really want to tell him until I was on it for 2 more months, because it takes 90 days, for your cells to rejuvenate. So I finally opened up the bag, and I told him, I said, do you know why I'm in a better mood now? Do you know why I'm starting to be me again? Probably just what you're doing, what I'm doing for you, or helping you with. And I'm like, so I pulled out of my bag my Relive stuff, and I said, this is what's been helping me. My body loves it. So right there, that tells you, if you are down to nothing, when your body is not feeling right, it's not getting the right nutrients, how are you going to be a functional person, be the person you need to be, accept what your creator has for you? All of that has to do with what you are taking within. So with my knowledge now, I have learned how the body really functions. And through chiropractic, nutrition, and hydrogen-rich electrolyzed water, that's how your body needs to function properly. Because if we're not getting the electrical charge, we're not getting the right water that brings that into our cells, how can our food break down and give us that nutrition, where the nutrients need to go throughout our body so our organs can function properly, because they all work together. So when they stopped functioning, my thyroid, that's my only true key right now, is because of that radiation that they gave me. So now I have to take a natural compound supplements to help me replace those hormones that gives me that, balance there in my T3, T3, and 3T4, which those 2 can't convert into the liver if there is anything that is in the way. So if you got an infection going on or whatever because of overgrowth bacteria, my body was being ate up by candida, and that's pretty much why I was down to 98 pounds. There's so many people that are walking around today that are in the loss of why their bodies are not, functioning properly, or, they're not able to have a vitality of life and get out there and enjoy it because they're so sick. So the more I told my body I was sick, that's what my vibrations was bringing back to me. I am sick. I am sick. The more I said it, the worse I got. So getting into my mindset, learning about the you know what the Lord has for me. I posted healing passages throughout my house just to get me out of that, because I knew in that hospital, God came to me and he said, I have a better plan for you. And I'm like, whoa, who's telling me this? Because, you know, I would sit there and wonder, why am I here? Why am I here? And I seen so many people wondering why they are here. Well, they drugged me to where it was taking my sight. You know what? I don't need my glasses anymore as much as I used to. I don't need a cane anymore that used to have to get me from my bed to my bathroom. And I'm not afraid anymore. I open my curtains now. I'm not afraid anymore. I go outside now. I go for miles of walks now. I used to be closed in and afraid. So I'm not afraid anymore. I broke that fear. I know God's got a better plan. And that's what that message is when he says, for the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper, not harm, plans for good, not evil, plans for hope and a future. And that future is not for us to live in a sick body or in fear, because that's not an act of God. That's an act of the devil. Or the devil can be anything that gets in the way of you living the life you want. So just know you can get out of this pit. There's no reason we should have to live in this state of mind that there's nothing wrong with you. You have this, you have that. No, that's not what God says I have. He has a plan for me, and I am going after what he has for me. So this is what my mission is. I am a true seeker. I am on a mission to teach others to do the same thing. Don't let a sickness or disease take your life from you. It's wrong for them to think that a pill is going to take care of every ill. It don't. It may work for some people, but it's not going to work for everyone. So before I even get started on what my topic is, I am only here to teach you, guide you, and whatever I'm saying is because of what I've gone through. I'm not telling you to change your diet in any way. I'm not telling you to change your lifestyle in any way. I'm just here to help you be more open. Look for your root cause. Know that you can too do this by putting in the right tools. And I know for a fact, if it wasn't for me getting on Facebook, looking for these doctors, and then looking for my mentor, Ann Minke, that led me to Kong's Water. The water has changed my life. Yes, I've had some ups and downs at the beginning, but that's all to do with detoxing. Whatever you have come in contact with, not just food, emotions, other people's emotions and energies that don't belong to you. There's so many things that happened to us as a child growing up. I was tragically, physically, sexually abused as a child, as a teenager. And all of that hides in us, so we cannot break out and be the person we want to because we're afraid. Someone is going to judge us. Someone's going to hurt us. We should not live in that state of mind. So I am a survivor. I am an overcomer. And I'm a believer that whatever I put out in my universe, God knows that he has a better plan for me, that as long as I believe, I will receive what he has. So just believe in yourself, believe in you, love you, enjoy you, so you can enjoy others and love others and be the person that you want to be that mentor, to be that teacher, to be that leader, to be a mother, to be a father, be a sister and a brother to each other. Because we are all family. There's no reason we should be judged in any way. So I'm so blessed and thankful that JJ has reached out to me, led me to a better mindset. He had me join this morning motivation program. And since I've done that, JJ, I have a better outlook. I have a more of a mindset that, wait a minute, nothing matters to me out that side that window no more. Nothing that anybody else is going to say to me is going to bother me anymore. It's none of my business what they say and do. Because you know what? It's on them, not on me anymore. So I roll it off and I start my day with my gratitude. And that's what everybody needs to learn to do. Start your day within first 8 minutes with your gratitude. Give your love and light Send love and light to those enemies. Send love and light to those that don't know any different. That love and light will come back to you. Enjoy it and absorb it. So as I have been speaking about things and I see things that are been happening a lot and posted a lot, and you know what? Everybody is on a scare tactic when it comes to the flu. Yeah, we've been taught about the flu, right? Well, what is it that we are putting in our bodies when we gather around the holidays? It tends to be around the holidays. Shortly after that is when it breaks out. And we are overgrowing our gut bacteria the more we consume foods that flourish it. So what are we doing when we go to that smorgasbord over at the table that is prepared for us? Instead of looking at the foods that we should be eating as a meal and not as a dessert. A dessert is for after maybe an hour or so, not during a meal. To me, I was a cake decorator. I was a baker. I'm saying was because I found that things that were in the sugar, my body was sensitive to. And when I would make a wedding cake, birthday cake, or just an occasional cake, I always got congested. Consuming that dry powder sugar has cornstarch, and cornstarch was one of my sensitivities when I went to that naturopath. And that's what they had in my thyroid pill, was cornstarch. So therefore, we are overdoing our sugars, our carbs, and that's flourishing our gut bacteria. So we have two of those little friendly bacterias that like to get flourished. Candida, H. pylori. Guess what came up on my test? H. pylori and Candida overgrowth. And I'm like, wow, now the puzzle's coming together. Why I was down to 98 pounds. So when it comes to the flu, stop and think, what did you just eat? Say 4 hours prior to whatever's going on, 6 hours, a day before, you know, because a lot of that'll come on hours after, maybe a couple days later, because of that. It takes time for that gut bacteria to start flourishing. So when we are consuming sugar, what does sugar do? Multiplies that gut bacteria. So when you get into wanting to eat something healthy, you want to bring your back to your homeostasis to where it's balanced. Balancing your pH means potential hydrogen, which we're not taught that in school. We're not taught that by the doctors, what that actually really means. Potential hydrogen means it's bringing in oxygen to your cell. It's rejuvenating it. It's hydrating it. It's going to bring your pH, and it's going to kick out those free radicals or whatever it is that's causing that gut bacteria to be overgrown and flourishing. So get in on a better regimen of what you decide to eat when it comes to having a meal, when it comes to having a dessert. Know that you can bring your pH back to normal by putting in that potential hydrogen-rich water. It's really hydrating and awesome for your body. Your body is going to say thank you. You'll start thirsting for it. And that's what I found when I started drinking it. And when I started drinking it, I remember calling Ann, texting Ann at first, and then we did a video chat. I'm like, why does my brain feel so cold? It did. It felt so cool. She says, Marilyn, your body's getting hydrated. And then I started feeling some aches and pains going on. And I'm like, what? I'm feeling worse. She says, Marilyn, your body's going to feel worse. You're going to get uncomfortable first before you get better. It's kicking out all what don't belong in there anymore. And I'm like, wow, really? It's got to. But, you know, I didn't find the true effects of it until I got my own machine. Because I was getting it 2 days on, 2 days off, you know, go downtown to the store where I was getting it. And I remember talking to JJ about it. And I was, you know, having these issues going on, and I don't like how I feel. I don't want to. And you know what? Once I gave it to God to have my own machine in my house, my husband gave in And we got it November 12th. I was a happy little kid opening up a Christmas present. I couldn't wait to get that bugger set up in the kitchen there. And my husband's a plumber, thank God. And we got it all set up. And I started drinking that water every day, every moment I can get a chance. So when you're taking in that water every day, you're giving your body what it needs. So when it comes to you become under the weather, they say you have the flu, eat more closest to the garden is what I found. Eat closer to the garden. Drink some healthy, like nutritional drinks like the Relive products. I'm drinking some bone broth. It's really healthy for the gut when you're recovering from the flu. It helps the microbiome, which holds in your nutrients. That is your second brain. Once you are putting in the right nutrients in that, that will help heal. Don't add a bunch of other foods into it till it's ready to break it back down. So when I had the flu, the last time I had the flu was before Kong's water. I didn't know that I can overcome it so fast. But before, it would take me months before I could even breathe again, you know, because you get all congested. Well, you know, we have a lymphatic system. When that system is all plugged up, it cannot drain properly. So when we have energies, natural energies in our bodies, we have 7 energy wheels in the center of our body from our pelvic to the top of our head, which is called our chakras. We have 14 meridians that run through the body to help with those electrical charges, give those energy wheels the energy that they need to work, just like you go out to start your car. If you are not putting in the right fuel, the right oil, how is it going to run down the road properly? So you got to maintain your body just like you do your car, your vehicle. And if we're not doing that, we're not properly hydrating our bodies, we are not getting the right momentum, the right energy, you know, because we're going to have blockages here, we're going to have blockages there, we're going to have an ache and pain here and ache and pain there. Well, when we have pain, that's a sign of dehydration. When we have pain, that's a sign of buildup of toxins, can't move anywhere because the lymphatic area is all plugged up. So I have a massaging technique that I do throughout my whole body now, because I've learned so much through my chiropractor. She is a holistic nutritionist too, and she teaches you so much about kinesiology, and she can't get over. I walked into her house and into her apartment, or not apartment, her office, with not even able to hold my head up. I had to have my husband take me in to my first appointment to Dr. Shelson. He used to have to pretty much almost carry me because I didn't have the strength to walk. And when I start seeing them 2 doctors and they giving me the right tools, try this technique, and do this and do that, I started getting things together, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I can do this. Nothing's stopping me anymore. So just know you can do this too. Please learn that your body, as long as you're giving it the right tools, you're feeding yourself the right things to your mind, that you can. Anything you say after I am, I can, I will, I desire, that word right after that is really powerful. So make sure you're saying it's something positive to bring it back to you, to give you that vitality of life, to believe in you again, believe in who you are. You are worthy. You are love. You are life. And you know what? In our life today, we have so much out there that is trying to tell us we are something else. Don't believe them. Believe in you. Before anything else, believe in God, because He is the one. He is my creator. He is my forgiver, or my healer. He is my physician. He's the one that led me to doctors that know the why, my root cause. And there's other people out there that teach me too, like Louise Hay, bless her heart. She's my birth angel now, but she's got some wonderful books out there and some on YouTube. She has some wonderful videos on YouTube that I listen to daily. Binaural beats, they help the mind settle down, because I was not sleeping for 40 or more days. My husband didn't know what to do with me when I was in that state of mind back in 2014. I would wander and wonder, where am I? And thank God my one neighbor was taking her walk and brought me back home, because I was lost. I didn't know where I was heading. I was just took off for a walk. And you know what? I see a lot of that. I worked in the medical field. Now I know. I know why my mind wasn't there. Now I know why their mind isn't there. Not exactly, but you know what? There is a key to all of this. Research. Don't take that, whatever the blood work says or tests say or the doctors say is to end your life. I'm a true believer here. I could have been a goner 2014, but here I am now, because I didn't give up, because I knew God had a better plan for me. He has a better plan for everybody. We got to be the one to reach out and believe and trust. That's the key word, trust and know. And my book I'm writing is all about knowing. God knows. Just don't forget who you are. So this is why I'm opening up today, because when you're eating around the holidays, you know, birthdays or whatever, or even every day, think about what you're doing at your meal that is causing that flu symptom to come up, because you're overactivating your gut bacteria. You know, when it comes to that gut, we got protected, because that's our second brain. And if we're not getting the nutrients our body needs, how can we function properly, right? So I really want to thank you, JJ, for giving me this opportunity, because I'm telling you, there's so many people out there that are blind, and they just want to take what the doctors say, which is okay. But when they tell you, oh, you only got so much to live, what is that going to give us? That fear of dying. And I don't want to live in fear anymore. I'm not living in fear no more. I kicked it to the curb. So everybody else can do the same thing. And you know, I resonated when you said that you lost your mother. When I lost my father, my mind wasn't there, but he did not live. He was just living. He was sick from the time he retired from his job, and he deteriorated down to nothing. And I started finding myself doing the same thing. My poor sister, my earth angel Barb, this is my why. She came to me and asked me, Marilyn, they tell me I only got 6 months to live, and I don't know what to do. And I wish I knew now, or then what I know now. But then again, God's using me for a tool now to teach others to do the same thing. So now here I am. I'm a walking vessel.
Yeah. I love it. I'm excited for you, honey. It's been quite the amazing transition in you that I've seen over the last year, maybe year and a half. I'm not sure how long it's been exactly, but I know it's been over a year. And I remember the situation you were in, and how kind of destitute you were, and just how much better you've done now, from getting positive mindset, getting, you know, ultimately what it comes down to really is just giving your body what it needs so that it can heal itself. Because none of the, you know, everything, I want to make everything perfectly clear to everybody that, you know, the relive, the Kangen water, that's not what healed Marilyn. That's not what helped her get to this place where she's in now from where she was before. What did the healing was her body, her brain, her thought processes, her, you know, your body is such an amazing machine, and it's so capable of healing itself, but it has to get what it needs. It can't be getting stuffed full of garbage every day and never getting, you know, I'll tell you what, I got something I want to share with people along this line, just to I think this is one of the better parallels that I've come up with as far as helping people understand why this water is so important. Is you know, I've given people the grape thing, the bundle of grapes analogy, where you've got a empty milk jug in one hand, you've got a bundle of grapes in the other hand, and you want to get those grapes into that milk jug. Well, if you take that milk jug and you go like this, and you take this bundle of grapes right here and you go like that, and you just splash those grapes down onto the top of that milk jug, how many of those grapes are going to get in that milk jug? Why that's important is because those grapes represent one single water molecule, and that milk jug represents every cell in your body, and that hole at the top represents the aquaporin of every cell in your body. That's how everything gets in and out of your cells. Every beat of your heart, you get oxygen and nutrients in. The next beat, you get carbon dioxide and toxins out. Well, if you wanted to get all those grapes into that milk jug, if you just pluck those grapes and drop them in, every single one of them goes in. You get them all in there. But if you're going like this, if this is how you're trying to get your grapes in, you're not going to get them in. But if you pluck them and throw them in there one at a time, they're going to all go in just like this.
Right.
And what that's going to do is that's going to fill your cells with water and makes it so that your cell can clean itself out. And the thing is that the Kangen water machine, what it does is it plucks those grapes and allows those grapes to literally get sucked into your body, into your cells, deep into your cells. And I think the best correlation for helping people understand why the plucked grape versus the bundle of grapes is so important is imagine something. Think about this, especially people who have spent a little time around the sink and they've had to clean dishes after a meal and that kind of thing. And let's say you've got a pan and it's got all this crud in it. You got all this crud, leftover food that's burned to the sides and whatever. And how do you get that out of there? How do you clean that out? You like literally fill that pan full of water, and oftentimes you'll let that pan sit there for a while and let that water penetrate all that gooky burn on food. And then you can like take a little scrubber and scrub all that food out of there and flush that water around and dump the pan out. You can clean everything out real nice. And when you're all said and done, you took this burnt pan that had all this burnt food in it that was stuck to the sides, and now you've got this crystal clear, nice and clean pan again. Now, consider trying to clean that pan out when you don't have enough water.
Exactly.
All you get is one little splash of water in there, and you're supposed to clean all that gook out with this one little splash of water. Can you do that?
No.
The truth is, no, you can't. And it's the exact same thing for every cell in your body. If you're drinking bundles of grapes like this, which this is what every water is out there, every single water there is on the planet that is available to us to drink other than Kangen water. If you're drinking Kangen water, you got this.
And then they're absorbing it.
Not only is it small enough that it can get through that hole because now it's just a single grape, but it's also got an electrical charge. It's got a negative electrical charge, and this is where the really cool part comes in. This is why people can drink so much Kangen water and not even feel it get to their gut. You don't even, I always tell people, guzzle down as much as you can drink right now. Drink just here, what's the big, guzzle it, get down 28 ounces, get down 32 ounces all at once. Okay, now stand up and do the hula hoop. See if you feel anything sloshing around in your stomach. And the truth is, you will not feel anything sloshing around in your stomach. Why? Because all those grapes got sucked in like a vacuum. These have a negative charge, and inside your cell has a positive charge. And so literally the opposites are attracting and sucking the water into the cell like a vacuum so that the water can get into that dirty pan and flush out all that garbage that's been cooking into it for all these years. And you know if you're drinking this right here, kids, you're literally a dirty pan without enough water to clean yourself out. And I think that's one of the best things I've ever come up with as far as and hey, I'm even going to give myself a little bit of kudos because I came up with that analogy.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Most of the analogies I come up with, I got from other people.
You really have some good lightnings in your boat. I'm telling you, because I am so amazed every time I watch a show, and the guests that you have on here are so awesome that opens up my eyes to better things in life. And thinking I'm down and out, I turn on my Kong family or I get on the life motivators and I'm like, oh, Life ain't all about that. Life ain't all about that. Don't worry about that. And then you guys lift me up by, hey, there's a better way of looking at it or doing it. So I'm so blessed that I'm a part of this family and been led to you and led to, you know, like Thomas and all them too. And you led me to this life motivated program. And my analogy now is life ain't all about a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, you know? So when it comes to me opening up my box of chocolates, I got to make sure that I'm getting the right nutrients, what my body needs or my mind needs, because your third chakra, which we have 7 of them, the root is who you are. Believe in who you are. That's your first one. That's your pelvic, right at your pelvic and to your feet. And your second one is your sacral, and that's for creation and whatever, you know, you believe in. And that's above the pelvic and below the belly button. Well, above the belly button, below your rib cage, is your third chakra, which is your solar plexus. That absorbs everything you take in, not just your food, but emotions on other people, emotions, energies from other people, and smells. I can't walk into someone's house anymore without getting stuck to back. What did you just spray in here? Because my body knows now what is natural and what is synthetic. When a synthetic comes into the body, your digestive system, your nervous system picks up on it right away. When you walk into a room and there's some arguments going on, uneasy discussions going on, all of a sudden you feel it right here in the gut. Oh God, I ain't going over there. I'm not going to get involved with that. Well, right there, that is your nervous system telling you, stay away. Put your hands right over your solar plexus so you don't even absorb what is going on there. And just know when your body is telling you something, they say it's anxiety, that's the only way your body can talk to you is through your nervous system. What's good, what's not, and what did you just do about it? Well, it's your actions, what you choose to do with whatever decision you're making on that situation, or like myself with my food supplements and stuff like that, my food now choices. I got to make sure, is this going to be something good for my body, or is it because I want it? Just because I want that taste, or I want this, I want that, you know, to be fulfilled. You can hang around with negative people, but yet you can still be that shine, that light of positivity. Turn that frown upside down and smile, and give them that smile and send that love and light, because you know what? Maybe something in their life needs to be lit back up, because there's things that has happened to me in my whole life. I am going to be 62 years old in June, and I didn't think I was going to see 57. And I'm saying, no, none of that stuff is going to hold me back anymore, because it did hold me back for 60. Well, it was 60 by the time I started to come around again, you know. So learn. Don't let your emotions or anybody else's emotions decide on what you want or who you are. Because I tell you, it was stealing my life. And I don't like to see anybody else going through it, because I have a daughter that's very ill because of all this stuff. And she doesn't want to listen to anything nutrients. I took her water. I took her, you know, Relive. And it's on her. If she wants to take it, I pray she does. But it's our choice. Our choice is what we make in our lives is what we're going to get out of it and who we are. So believe that. Those wheels are there for a reason. And if we don't have the right water that gives us that electrical charge, how can we move forward, be who we are too? You know, I was telling my husband, we have a lot of blockages in life, but they don't have to consume us. And there's things that he is healing along with me, because he's seen his wife wilting away. He almost lost his job because of my illness. Well, once I started healing and getting over this, I thank God that he stayed by my side, because not very many men would do that. It was 40 years in June that we've been together, going on 41. But 39 years in August that we'll be married. So, you know, my doctor says he's a saint. There's not many men that will stand around, or women will stand by their partner's side through all that, unless they have faith and they have that love that God had gave them and instilled in them.
I've got an interesting question for you, Marilyn, and I think this question actually just came to my brain cell, and I'm going to start making this a permanent question of the show from now on when people come on board and want to come and share their story. I'm curious because I know there's a lot of people out there that they don't get involved with Kangen water because they're already healthy. They don't have any issues. They're not interested. You know, I had one of my best friends come here and stay for a couple of days to go skiing, and ultimately the reason why they were not interested in there was two reasons. Number one, it's too expensive, and
Yep.
Number two, they don't have any health problems. I'm curious what you think, because obviously without being in that position, you can't really answer it for with a full 100%. Yeah, this is what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that you would have been receptive to getting Kangen water back when your health was good?
Well, that's one good question, because I'm telling you, going through school, we all learn something, right? Well, that's one thing that should have been brought up about the water, because what they chose to do to put in our water that brings it into our tap, that is altering our body's chemistry. So I would love to have known more before I started this over a year ago. I would have loved to known that I can lead others to a better choice of water, because they chose to put it in a bottle and then alter it with chemicals or whatever to make it alkaline. Alkaline is chemically processed. It's not alkalized. And when you're not alkalized, you're not getting the right charge. Your body cannot move forward. Boy, did I wish I knew this back in the day, but now I'm blessed that I know now that this water, you cannot live without it, because it's the way God made it. What does it mean in Japan, where it was originated? Back to origin.
Yeah.
Bring it back to the way God made it. So this is what my mission is. And I would love to have wellness centers opened. And I woke up around Easter time and I had it envisioned shaped like the cross, crossing origins. Bring it to the cross. You know, let's learn. Let's get this word out to everybody. Let's pass this knowledge to everyone. It's there for them, but you know what? They're not open to it because they've not heard about it. I never heard about it until I got online, and I was looking for a better diet for my body to adjust to, because I was having a hard time digesting. So food was a big problem for me till today. It still is. But I'm learning new things. And if I don't drink my Kangen water, I don't feel like I can move that along. If I don't meditate, if I don't know my modalities that I can get earthing with Mother Earth, and if the winter we can't do that, there is things that you can do inside your home to get grounded. You got to learn to center yourself. Don't let it trap you. Don't let your whatever's going on in your life trap you like it did me for 5 years. It's not fun to live in that state of mind. So my husband read World Without Cancer. He took it to work, shared it with people there, his coworkers there, and he's now taken the vitamin B17, and he's telling everybody about Relive, and he's telling, he's reading the Killing Cancer Without People right now and sharing it with people at work. So see, I'm setting the seeds in him now, because he didn't know either. And he takes the water to work. So, and it all takes time. I got a client coming in today at 4:00 for me to show her about the water. And I'm going to give her a live water sample. I'm going to do the presentation just so she can see just what it really does, because I met her in my naturopath's office on Monday, and she's been really ill, in and out, and she works with autistic children. And that's another key thing I want to talk to people about. Autism is something that kids need to not be trapped in. We should not have to have that label over our children or ourselves. And there is ways out of it. Like Ian Rude, he is awesome. That's one technique I am hoping to bring into our community. I'm going to have a meeting with him, hopefully with my naturopath and my chiropractor, holistic doctor, and be able to have that here, available here in our community. So that's another thing, getting those modalities into our communities, not just in one area, because I'm telling you, we're all hurting in some way, shape, or form. And if we are not led to the why, to know the root cause, we are just going with the whim, going with what our doctors are telling us, which is okay if they need their eyes open too. So that's another thing I want to touch base with. Doctors' offices, I want to go to dentist offices, and education, because not all children learn the same. And autism is one of the things that they really like to put that label over the children, because they can't learn or they can't fit in. And they can. You just got to have the right tools. And this Kangen water would so help them. And I got a couple in my own family. They'd say I was dyslexic. They told me my two boys were dyslexic. We had a learning disability, ADD. I'm like, I'm not owning none of that no more, because I know now. I had a lot of blocks in my life to move forward. And you know what? Those traits come from how you were raised, how you're raising your children, how you raise your children. That's how they're going to raise their children. So we need to break these traditional behaviors. How we treated how we were treated, we have to not bring that in, because it affected my daughter, how I was raised. I brought that into her, and that's not fair. And I went into tears when I found out through my healing just what these behaviors do and where they come from. So let's learn. We can move forward. We can overcome that. We can forgive, because you know what? God's a forgiving God. He forgives us, right? Well, we can also do the same thing, because I know my dad wasn't in the right mind coming out of that military, Korean War. A lot of the anger came with him, and he didn't get the right help to how to raise 9 children. And violence is not the way, not at all. So I'm so blessed that I went through these trials. So now I'm here to help others open up their eyes and make a better difference and make a better choice for what they're putting in their body, in their mind. So you can live that way too. Everyone can live that way. And I learned at a young age, 3 years of age and on, my parents put us on a bus, even though they didn't go. I got on that bus every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday to learn about the Lord. And if it wasn't for that, and my mom and dad giving me birth, I don't know where I would be today if I didn't have that faith and that trust. I sat here many days wondering why my body was doing what it was doing. I didn't know what's going on. I don't like this. I can't sleep. I used to sit here cry all the time. I'm so sick. I'm so sick. And I'm like, where am I going with this? Then I started reading the passages again and putting them all up on my house. And I'm like, hey. And I still have the one for the Happy New Year one still up here on my china cabinet. I mean, I didn't even have the strength to go up to my bedroom. My bed's been down here for 5 years in my dining room. I didn't have the strength to even stand in the shower every time I got in. My body would shake. Now I know why. So learn what your root cause is. Move forward. Get in touch with people that know. Don't just take that, like I said before, blood work, whatever test that you got back, be the end of your life, because your life is you, what you put into it. Go learn about it, and absorb everything you get, everything that comes in your way. Absorb the good stuff, because the bad stuff really can knock us for a whoop, and I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
And I would imagine you would go with this recommendation, and that is something I recommend to people, is don't wait Don't wait until you've lost your health to try to do something about it. Don't wait. You know, you make a wise choice. Do what the people in India do. Do what so many people around the world do, in Japan and many other countries. They go into they go after the preventative side of healthcare instead of the reactionary side. You know, once you've already lost your health, it might be too late.
Right.
You know, like Dr. Barry Oz says, there's no such thing as an incurable disease, but there is a point of no return. And you don't know where that point is. And so why risk it? For me, I didn't need to wait until and it's all because of reading the book World Without Cancer. I read that book all those years ago, and that changed my thought process. I challenge you guys to read the book, read World Without Cancer, read what it has to say, so that you can start getting into a different mindset of prevention instead of reaction. And, you know, I would imagine that Marilyn wishes that she would have started preventing long before her health went down the tube. And I encourage people to take that route. Why wait until you're sick to start doing something to make you healthy? Because I'll tell you right now, kids, you're one of the very lucky few if you can just trash your body throughout your life and not end up with some sort of a serious illness, especially nowadays where everything is contaminated around us. Our air, our water, our food, everything is completely contaminated in so many different ways. And if you don't have something now, it's just a matter of time. And if you think Kangen water is expensive, just wait till you have to spend a day in the hospital. You'll find out what expensive is. And so we want to encourage you to look at it from a proactive standpoint from now on instead of a reactive standpoint. And, you know, Marilyn, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your incredible story. I gotta tell you, I'm so happy for you and how far you've come. You look so much better. You just everything about you is so much better over this last year. You've really truly taken the bull by the horns and jumped on for the ride, and it's really exciting to see that. I love it. You're kind of the epitome of what Kangen Water and the Kong family is all about. We're just here to help people. We want to share stories, share our own stories, and you know, get information out there that can potentially change somebody's life. Because ultimately, you guys, you're the one who has to make the change. That's why we always end this show with, get out there, change the world, starting with your own.
Right.
Because you can't change anybody else's world. You can't do anything for anybody else if you're not helping yourself first. People say, oh, they only care about themselves. You know what? If you don't care about yourself, you don't really have the ability to care about others. And so we urge you, we implore you to care about you first. Make sure you're healthy. Make sure your house is in order before you worry about other people and their houses. And I don't care whether that's your children or whether that's your friends or whether that's some stranger on the street. You got to take care of you first. If you don't take care of you, you're not going to be able to take care of your children. You're not going to be able to take care of any strangers. You're not going to be able to do anything for anybody, including yourself, if you don't take care of you first. So
health is your wealth. You know, I look at my health. I'm the richest person I can be for myself because I now know what tools I need. And when it comes to me knowing, I can now be that example and set that example and pray that I can lead others to do the same thing. And I used to be the one that always, out of 9 children, I'm the 4th. And I had 5 brothers and sisters that looked up to me all the time after my 2 older ones moved out. And I had a mentally challenged older brother. And when I have brothers and sisters coming to me while I was first going through this, shaking me a little bit. My one brother, Bill, he says, Marilyn, what's going on with you? You're always the one that's helping everybody, and you're always the one that's positive here. And I wasn't being who I was. I didn't understand why he was saying that to me, you know? So don't get your body to that point. Don't let your mind get to that point. Know that you can move forward and get the right tools. And how are you going to know about the tools? Research like I did. Get on board with Kong Family. You know, there's so many things on YouTube that that's been helping me. Louise Hay is a good one. She has a book out called Heal Your Body. And you know what? Heal your body is not just with food, but healing the mind and the energies. Knowing your energy medicine is your own body's energy. Massaging your meridians. When I'm in the shower, I don't just wash my body anymore. I know now I got to massage my lymphatic system. Massage that, get that out of there, because you know, if you have some pain going on right there, a lump or whatever, those are black toxins. Massage them out of there, and drink 75% of your body is water, so make sure you're drinking at least half your body weight, or when you have something going on, make sure you're at least drinking potentially your full body weight in ounces, because that's the only way those will flush out of your system, or they just sit there and flourish and then they turn into a disease, you know, like that flu. Oh gosh, that's not really disease, but it's a virus, but they want to scare tech us with one right now that's going to be coming in from China that's really going to kill a lot of us off. You know, that's all scare tactics that they need to learn to not put that on the, you know, media or whatever, the news. Stay off that news. I don't even follow it no more, because you know what? They just want to scare us. Nothing's going to scare me no more. I let go of that fear a lot, 3 years ago now. Totally, it's been a year that I totally let go of it since I met you, and I'm been led to better ways of thinking. You and Tina are such an enlightenment to us here in America. You guys are such a light that I just look up to you. Yeah, you might be a little younger than my brothers, but you still are like a little brother to me. I look forward to meeting you one day too. Definitely.
Likewise, honey. I really am. I'm excited for you. I really am. I think it's really neat watching your transformation. I think you're really the epitome of what this is all about. And
don't give up.
I just love to see how much better you're doing, because it's hard to see people suffering. And you know, I'm just happy for you that you were willing to make the wise choice and start putting, you know, positive things. And you know, ultimately it all starts with the water that you drink. It's crucial. And so I'm really
journaling
for you that you made that decision, that you got yourself the main ingredient you need to heal yourself, and that you're working on your mindset and all that kind of stuff. I think your story is going to be very powerful, and hopefully people will listen to it as time goes by. And once we get this thing, you know, as soon as I get the recording from Zoom, I'll send you the Zoom recording, and then as soon as I'm able to get it loaded up to the Kong Family Show YouTube channel, I'll send you that link too. And feel free to get that out there to people and share it far and wide. And you know, everybody, this is what it's all about. We need to help each other. We need to share our stories, and we need to, you know, take advantage of the opportunity to proactively approach your health instead of waiting until it's gone, because once it's gone, you might not be able to get it back.
Exactly.
And, you know, so that's one thing we encourage you to do here at the Kong Family, is get after it. Change your life, change your world, change other people's worlds, starting with your own. And of course, you guys, do not forget your hugs. These things are really super important. You need to get your hugs, and you need your booty hoos. You gotta let those babies rip. They feel good.
And no, Mother's nature is not just from our DNA. It's not just from our mother and our father. It's from Mother Nature, driven nature's alignments. And I drew this, and we are the trunk of who we are. Our branches are what we do in our lives to fulfill it. So I drew this on a t-shirt too. I painted it.
Love it.
So see, be creative.
You want to take a picture of that and share it out on Facebook. I think
I will.
That's awesome. You can't
I will.
the resolution isn't good enough to be able to really see that, but if you take a picture of it and post it out on Facebook, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah,
throw
I did. And you know what? I have the sun and the heart is love from God. Well, it's not just the sun, you know, yeah, we need that sun, we need that vitamin D, but it's God's sun's love that shines upon us all. And he flourishes so much that we got to block the hatred or negative, whatever's out there, because we have so much more in life to offer to each one of us. And each one of these, it's the universe's source energies, the spiritual growth, you know, like all the gifts of the Holy Spirit is love, kindness, joy, happiness, and peace. And gratitude is a big key. Being grateful. And I'm grateful to you. I will always be so grateful to you.
And I'm grateful to you too, honey. I'm so glad that you're here, and I appreciate you coming on the show today. Thank you so much for coming, gracing us with your wisdom and your incredible story. And I'm just excited to keep following your journey, and you keep continuing to get better and better and better, and help others do the same. So God bless you, my dear.
Thank you.
You have yourself an incredible day.
Get
out there, change the world, starting with your own, and we're changing the world. We are the Kong family. We're doing it. How are we doing it again?
1 ounce, 1 cup, 1 gallon of H2 minus OH.
Amen. Right? One lightning bolt in a box, one incredible guest, one amazing family at a time. We love you guys. Have an incredible day, and we'll see you tomorrow at the same bat channel, 8:45 live Mountain Standard Time. See you guys tomorrow for some more fun. Have a great day.
Bye for now. Love and light.
Woody hoo!
Yoo-hoo. You're awesome.
Thank you, dear. Make it a great one.
You too.
Bye for now.
Bye now.